Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be learning how to make patches. So if you have a favorite t-shirt, logo, or you're at the fabric store and you see a fabric you really like, we're going to show you how to make a patch out of that, and it's really simple, really inexpensive, and very quick to do. All we'll be needing for this today is the fabric of your choice, which we have a t-shirt that we just went to Salvation Army, found for 99 cents. So we'll be using the back of it, or you could even use the front of it if you want a smaller patch. And then we also got a denim jacket, which we will be putting it on the back of right there. So you need your clothing items that you want. Then also we'll be using interfacing, and this specific interfacing is used in baseball caps, used for the front. And what's awesome about this is that it's pretty thick, and so it's very structured, and it gives it very good stability when you go sewing it on. So here we have an already sewn on patch. We just sewed that onto the back of this blazer. Looks very professional, and it's really structured, and it just looks very clean. All right, so here we are at the first step. Here we have our interfacing, which we purchased this on capsupplyco.com, which we'll have that linked in the box below. And they just have a really great price on this interfacing, and it's the really thick stuff that you want for these patches. So we got enough to cover completely the patch that we're going to cut out. So when we're doing this, we want to be very gracious on the seam allowance on the outside. You want to make it larger than what it's actually going to be. So we're going to cut out all around the icon, but make sure you leave enough space. Now, the reason we cut along this so messy is because once we adhere these two together, this provides a very stable backing, and you're able to cut very straight lines with this, and it's far easier to get the shape that you want once they're together rather than having this loose and flopping all over the place. So with this interfacing, there's a dull fabric-y looking side, and then there's a shiny side. The shiny side is the glue. So all that shine is just the hardened glue. So you want to put that face up and then lie your fabric on top of it. I think we'll do it this way. Because we're going to be sewing the patch onto the fabric, we're not gluing it onto, or we're not adhering it onto the actual piece of clothing. We want to adhere this to the fabric piece. All right, so once it's on there, I highly recommend flipping it over and ironing the interfacing rather than the t-shirt, because sometimes, depending on what kind of t-shirt you have, the inks will come off due to the heat of the iron, because you want your iron as hot as possible. It's not going to ruin this interfacing, but it may ruin the shirt. All right, so I've gone ahead and chalked out the lines on which I'm going to cut. If you feel like you don't need to take that step, then don't do it. If you want to freestyle it, by all means. But if you're trying to be precise, that's a great tip. So we're just going to go ahead and cut out along those lines. So once we have it cut out, this is what it's going to look like. Now before we put it on our article of clothing, we'll want to serge around and put a nice professional edging on it. But if you don't have a serger, you can always use the zigzag stitch on your sewing machine and just go over the edges to give it that thick, nice edging. So we're just going to serge around a couple of times to make sure it's nice, thick, and then we'll go ahead and sew it onto our garment. All right, now once we've got that serged, this is what it's going to look like. Once we have the edges all sewn or serged, then we can either pin it or glue it. It's completely up to you. Depending on the size of your patch, it may make a difference. For purposes of this video, we're just going to pin it. Just to keep it in place before we go ahead and sew it. So once it's on the sewing machine, it's not sliding all over the place. Just going to pin it at each point. All right, here we are at the sewing machine, and we are just going to straight stitch, use a straight stitch to sew this on. I recommend where you want to put your stitch line is on the innermost stitch line from your serger or zigzag stitch. So if you can go right along this edge right here, it'll make that straight stitch nearly invisible. And then it will also be close enough to the edge where the edge of the patch won't be flopping up a whole lot. So just go along there as straight as you can, and just go ahead and straight stitch. So here we have it, the finished product, and the jean jacket, and then the finished product on the blazer. So yeah, very simple, very quick, and a lot of fun going to the thrift store and picking out awesome combinations. Remember to like and subscribe, and also the interfacing, the link is also in the description box for where to get that. And yeah. Just hope you have fun with this, and good luck.